Welcome to the LHS 2014 MCAS Proctor training video. I'm Charlie Pouliot, one of the instructional specialists at Lowell High School. I'm sure you've noticed that the MCAS room was relocated from 527 in the 1980 building to rooms 106 and 108 in the 1922 building. Feel free to stop by anytime. This brief session will provide training for new proctors and assistants, as well as reacquainting everyone else with the process that LHS has refined over the years. Let's get to it. Why do I have to do this again? Well, it's a requirement of the DESE that all individuals involved in MCAS testing must participate in annual training. So by viewing this video, you're attesting that you have reviewed this training video, and you'll be signing this off. The testing schedule for the 2014-15 school year is as follows on this page. So we'll be starting in November 5th, and through November 13th, we'll get the ELA and the math retest done. You can pause this video and see what the other dates are. We have to talk about the security violations. You can see the top 10 here is listed by the DOE. The ones that we're mostly concerned about is, of course, the cell phone use, the things like using a calculator when they're not supposed to, if they pass notes, if a test administrator tries to coach them like, oh, you sure it's that one? And the other things. We don't want any tweeting, no Facebook posting, and if they don't have their phone, they're not going to do any of that. This is an important LHS strategy that has worked very well for the proctors and the assistants. We take the test box and we take the top of it, turn it upside down. The proctors collect all the cell phones, iPods, anything else that they may have in their hands, make sure they turn them off. They're not being confiscated. We're just going to be secured until the test is over. We know that the students just use the phones to tell the time and things like that, so it's a habit. So if it's not in their hands, they don't have a problem. So have them shut off the device. They'll put their name on a Post-it that we'll supply, put it in the box for safekeeping. No student will receive their electronic device until the test is completed for the day, and there will be an announcement that says so. Student backpacks are another thing we want to get away from the students. All students will put their backpacks in a designated area, in the front side of the classroom. You want to get them away from them because they'll reach into them and grab for something just out of habit. And the test administrators should closely monitor any student who wishes to access the backpack. It's important to know that there are test security consequences. What they call testing misconduct at the DOE may result in any of all of the following. Delays in reporting the district, school, or student results because they're going to have to be re-reviewed. There's invalidation of the district, school, or student results, and the school might have to take them all over again. That has happened. Exclusion of school personnel from participating in future MCAS tests. They may do something with your teacher license. So the responsibilities of the test administrator are to follow the directions in the teacher's administration manual and read the scripts exactly. Prevent the use of unapproved materials. Ensure that there are no cell phones. Scan the student's material to ensure that they're on the correct test session. Don't look at the pages, just take a look and see if they're in the right place. Pay attention to students at all times to prevent any cheating. Do not coach the students or alter their responses, and always maintain your full attention on the testing environment. Ask if the student has completed all of the day's sessions, but do not check the student's booklet for completeness. Maintain the chain of custody of materials at all times. Make certain that you return the materials that you signed out. Do not leave test materials unattended for any reason. Students must be supervised at all times, and never let a student leave an MCAS test room unescorted for any reason. The booklets must be kept confidential. This is another security issue. Do not review the content in test booklets or answer booklets before, during, or after the testing. Provide the students access to tests before testing. Do not provide students with answers to any test questions or make suggestions for improvement. Do not duplicate any test materials. Do not retain, recycle, remove, or destroy test materials. And all MCAS materials must be accounted for, even if they are irreparably damaged. So on the morning of the test, the administrators will come to room 108 at 7:45 to pick up your test materials box. You'll verify and sign the blue tracker sheet to inventory your test booklets and answer booklets. Make sure the walls and boards in the test room do not have any information that would impact the test. Refer to the before you begin testing sheet. Examine everything in the test box so you are prepared and comfortable in administering the test. On the day of the test, You'll go to the assigned room, read and follow the LHS orange sheet of proctor directions. You post the MCAS Do Not Disturb sign on the door, take attendance carefully, and please have students put the proctor's name and room number in the top right-hand corner of the test booklet and answer booklet. So setting up the test rooms. For the classroom walls, remove or cover information for subject matter that's related to the test. Classrooms should be neat and organized. All regular student materials should be put away. Student seating. Seats should be in rows. Students should be spaced about evenly apart. You know the MCAS boxes if you've been here before. The teachers that haven't can pause this and review what's in there. There's a lot of stuff. The student responsibility form is very important because it will provide the student with their SACID, the state identification number, for the test. It's required on the forms. They will sign this and you can see what the form says, but it certifies essentially that the student is not going to cheat or do anything wrong during the test. The students are responsible to fill out their information and bubble the front of their answer books. Please be very careful about student bubbling. Some students have never seen a bubble sheet before and may need your assistance. Students' SACID numbers are on the student responsibility forms. There is a student ID label and it'll be put on after testing. This is the student answer sheet. The students will fill out all these items and you can pause this and look at it if you need to. Before giving the test, remind students to try their best, work until they see the stop sign on the test booklet pages. Respond directly to the MCAS ELA composition prompt. Caution the students that they must not preview test materials, copy anybody else's work, accept any coaching or let someone else answer for them, or use unapproved materials. The bathroom breaks have always been something that teachers have had a problem with, but we have to follow the DESE policy. Students must be escorted, one student at a time. Cell phones and backpacks must not be returned to students during any break. Proctors and assistants, someone should always cover the room. If there are any questions, concerns, or you need a break, call the MCAS room at 1080 for support. This sign is allowed during testing for the ELA tests. Fire alarm or evacuation. During a fire drill or other emergency that requires the classroom to be evacuated, ensure the safety of all students and yourself. Collect all MCAS materials into the MCAS room box. Don't be concerned about sorting. Cover the box and take it with you. It is your responsibility. You may leave behind all the pencils, dictionaries, things that were in the box. Make sure that you ask students if they have completed their test by reading the script dialogue in the manual. This is a sample from an earlier test. You'll see this in the test manual. At the end of the testing session, students should stay in their seats and raise their hands if they need anything. The proctor will collect student materials. Students are allowed to use appropriate books, magazines, or paper at this time. Novels are not allowed after ELA long composition. Student homework is allowed. Students will remain in the testing rooms. No student will be released from the testing rooms early. Extra time students should keep working until they are instructed to stop for moving to overtime. Moving to sessions. If a student has not completed session 1 by the time the session 2 begins, he or she must complete session 1 before moving on to session 2. That's a DESE rule. So they can take a quiet stretch break, read the section 2 instructions to all students after the break. Students needing to finish session 1 will continue with session 1. The remaining session 1 students will notify the proctor when they are ready to move to session 2. The overtime procedure and the end of testing. When the test session ends, an assistant will collect any overtime students and their materials and walk them down to the designated overtime room. The assistant carries all testing materials and electronics. In the overtime room, check in with the proctor, seat each test taker, and pass out their materials. Students will not carry test materials or talk on the way. The test box with all materials at the end of testing will be returned by the proctor to room 108. There you'll adjust the count of students that went to overtime on the tracking sheet, and you'll wait while all items are verified returned and the tracking form has been signed. If you have any remaining questions, please contact us. Thank you.